So welcome everybody today on this glorious Thursday for our webinar that we've hosted with Hypergate. So the tagline for today was, who needs a laptop? You already have a computer in your pocket. So if you own a Samsung Galaxy device, probably you will benefit from the Samsung DEX features built into their devices. It basically turns your mobile device into a PC, and the only thing that you have to do is connect to a monitor. This monitor shows you a desktop-like experience, and you're ready to do everything that wasn't possible on that tiny smartphone screen. And so by adding Hypergate to this solution, your setup becomes a perfect enterprise-grade fit. So with Hypergate Authenticator and Files, you can now replicate this desktop device setup for authentication and have access to all your business critical applications and data. So the planning for today, so we will start with an introduction on Hypergate. We have Arman in the call as well, who will give the intro on Hypergate, and then later on we will switch to a live demo of the solution, and Bjorn Kems, so our director operations, he will show in real life which devices that we use for the Samsung DEX solution, how to connect, and what you can do while bringing Hypergate to the solution. And afterwards, we have also planned a small Q&A session. So I would say, Arman, the floor is yours.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Gertian, and hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you today. It's quite a glorious Thursday. And yes, as Gertian mentioned, I will start sharing my screen. I just want to show everybody a quick, let's say, background presentation on the product, Hypergate, and what we do together with Mobco and Samsung DEX. I'm going to try to keep this short or as short as possible because I think actually seeing the product in action is going to be the most exciting thing versus just hearing me speak. But I hope that I can help engage and get you thinking about how realistic is getting Samsung DEX into the enterprise. Can I actually use it? And how can Hypergate be a part of this equation? What would I get out of it? As mentioned, today the topic is getting your users or your employees fully equipped, versatile, and doing everything they need to do with their Samsung devices, whether it's a phone or a tablet, but being DEX enabled. A quick background on Hypergate for those of you which have not seen the product or heard of it before. Hypergate is technically, legally a product of a company called Papers AG. It's been around for over 10 years and we are headquartered in Switzerland. Product is developed, maintained, supported, everything out of Switzerland. And we're very proud of that. And the company's focus is to bring to the market mobile first solutions, which are aimed at helping user experience, as well as keeping your environment as secure and safe as possible. In our approach to that today, we'll be talking about Hypergate Authenticator and Files, as Gertian mentioned. To give you a little bit of background and explain the Authenticator application, I want to start by where we got the idea to develop it and kind of what sparked its development, as it's all going to play a part in this presentation. I'm sure many of you are aware or have come across or heard of this problem at one point or another, but enterprises like to have one username, password, certificate authority, means of authentication for all devices in their environment. This means that with one username and password, I can access all my corporate data, files, applications. And if the same password worked on all managed enterprise devices, then this would be ideal. This with Android was the case until Android Enterprise, in which case, I mean, a lot of management heavily improved, enrollment, manageability, BYOD, security, you name it. But one thing that was, let's say, fell through the cracks almost was the Active Directory support. This is Kerberos or Windows authentication for on-premise AD to Android devices. At this time, at Hypergate, we built the product and began to sell it at first in Switzerland to financial and banking institutions, which of course had quite a bit of on-premise infrastructure, which their Android devices needed access to. So this, as a very quick problem, I'm sure you can appreciate, all your devices are using Active Directory. All of your devices, laptop, PCs, are all using this SSO, and your Android devices have just lost it. So Hypergate helps bring it back. Not only bring it back, but adds a few say features which even further enhance the SSO experience on mobile. We'll talk about that in a moment, but of course, what's quite interesting about our system is it's seamless. It's a plug, play, and forget solution. It's actually so easy to plug that it's simply an application installed via your UEM and configured via a app config that just sits on the device. There's no website, no web portal, there's no on-premise infrastructure which is added. It's a very simple solution that lets you leverage your existing IT infrastructure. So keep everything how it is, just install the app and take advantage of the benefits. There are quite a few ways to further enhance the value of Hypergate, and that specifically in cooperation with Samsung DEX provides a considerable amount of value. One of them being the password reset and password management functionalities of Hypergates. You'll see this in a little bit, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But if you are moving to a mobile-only vision, and you're only going to be using your smartphone or tablet. By the way, I've been using Samsung DEX for about 6 months now, solely, no backup devices, only on my S7 and my S21. So I can speak for this comfort, whereas, especially with COVID, as I'm working from home, if my password expires and I wasn't able to change it from the device, it would be much more difficult, I mean, almost impossible for me to be able to access the tools and utilities I need. So with this functionality, you're very easily able to get prompted when your password expires and change it from your mobile device if you're still using passwords. Now, I mentioned we're a Swiss product. How could we not pull in the Swiss Army knife? Again, quick example, we've talked about the seamless SSO, the password management, and a final component, of course, this had to be the wine opener, is the smart access, conditional access portion of the SSO solution. This is where you're able to configure a large list of events to take place upon certain activities. Now, this can be as simple as requiring multi-factor authentication, whether it's with biometrics, facial scans, fingerprints, smart cards being bumped through NFC. Maybe it's a USB dongle that's plugged in. Hypergate supports a whole list of modern authentication methods to help you further enhance the security and, of course, ease of use of your devices. If I no longer have to type in a password, I'm happy that I can just stare at the camera and I have access and the company knows it's me. This entire configuration, as well as the ability to do things like set up geofences or network fences so that while I'm in a particular area, I have access to different corporate data. When I'm out of it, I don't. If I'm on a safe network, I'm covered, I can access. If I'm on a coffee shop, open, free network, maybe I don't have access to this corporate data. All of this can be configured within Smart Access. And as I mentioned before, there's no web components or there's no on-premise component to this solution. This means that even if you have no connectivity, if you're offline, if you're maybe in transportation and logistics and you are on the road from point A to point B, or maybe traveling, maybe you're going to visit, hopefully one day very soon, a different country or a territory with different laws and different regulations that you need to abide, you can use our offline services to block data, pause data, or do a whole list of things like force multiple factors of authentication in order to make sure that it's still you and this corporate data is still safe. There is, and you'll see some videos of this as well as in the future very soon. Bjorn will show you many of these functionalities, but just to recap, you have single sign-on, SSO authentication to web apps, native apps, you name it, password lifecycle management, being able to change and reset your password, and then smart access, the rules engine. This is a little bit hard to show, so you won't see it today. But if you are interested, let us know. We can have another webinar on it. We also have other videos and content that might be helpful to you. Now, I left the slide in here. You're going to see one later for files. This is a recap as we send this deck to everybody afterwards. If you'd like to, please go ahead and read it. But I've covered a lot of this information already. It's a single sign-on solution, enhances authentication with multi-factor, conditional access, and helps you modernize your, say, your Kerberos or Windows, your Active Directory authentication to industry standards. Plug, play, and forget, very easy to set up, very easy to manage, and of course, helps further experience the or enhance your Samsung experience in enterprise. The second part of the solution, this is or what you're going to see is the files portion of Hypergate. And this is a very simple product. Again, the idea being that you're able to take your on-premise file shares, SMB file shares, whatever, and access them on your mobile device. You're not able to do that currently. There are quite a few solutions out there to help you do it, but we're going to show you why excuse me, our Hypergate solution might be a good fit here. The ultimate goal is to be able to give you the very straightforward, easy access, very similar to what you would see in a traditional laptop and PC for file shares, simply to transport it over to your DEX environment. Again, this is one step to getting your DEX device working as close to as possible as your PC. We are, of course, doing this with a focus of on-premise. There are, again, no back-end components. It's a plug, play, and forget solution, completely managed and pushed through your UEM. No web components, just an app. We're taking advantage of all Samsung and Google or Android's data loss prevention techniques. We are always and strategies as well as best practices to make sure that any of this data that we are interacting with is handled in the most secure way possible, so that it will not and cannot get leaked or lost. We're going to also see this later, but we integrate, and there'll be a list of applications in a moment, but you're able to attach files and edit files and content through any tool, whether you're in the Office suite or G Suite or any other combination of applications that'll help you send an email and edit content. Hypergate Files doesn't care. We just help you get it done. Again, I'm not going to read this. Very straightforward app. You can go through this later. We're also going to be sharing some other material with you, but it's a very simple solution that helps you gain access to on-premise file shares and looks and feels like Android should. Here are a small list. Our website has more, but we have yet to come across a solution that does not work with our files. you can use it to do anything, to access these files, to save them on any of these apps you see in front of you, and many, many more. If you're interested to learn more afterwards, we do have quite a few case studies that in different verticals. Maybe some are interesting to the verticals that you are in or serve. Some of them are named, some of them are not named, but you can find them on our website, as well as this example here. Jeffries is one of our favorites. This was done with cooperation with Android Enterprise and Google. So I think now this is a few years ago, but Jeffries is a large US financial services organization. They're actually global and around the world. And they specifically use us on all of their Samsung devices, including their BYOD project, which included employees bringing their own Android devices to work. The trouble being that although they could bring their phones with them and the company was okay with them using them, they were not able to access any corporate data because they weren't able to log in. And Hypergate ultimately was part of the solution there. But there's a link here. You can please check it out, or on our website, I believe it's just /use cases. We'll show you others as well. All of this, everything I just showed you and talked about, is part of our Hypergate truly mobile vision. The idea that you can use your smartphone or even tablet as your daily driver. You no longer need to carry your laptop with you, carry a bunch of, or for me, what was the most amazing is I can ditch that huge charging cable that I have to carry. So just being able to do everything on your smartphone or tablet is ideal for us, and I think for many others as well as time moves on. This is something, again, as I mentioned, I've been doing for 6 months. Different members of the Hypergate team have been doing as well. And we found it an unbelievable experience that thanks to Samsung DEX, app developers like ourselves and many others, is simply just becoming better and better. And almost daily, I'm surprised by how something has now been improved for the platform. It's very nice to see. Part of the vision, we're looking to work ever more closely and working with Android and Enterprise, Google, Samsung, and Samsung DEX with their development teams to continuously further this cooperation and integration. Again, this mobile, or as you'll see later, and I'm sure you've heard, the future of work is getting ever more clearer, and for many, it's already here, for many like ourselves. The purpose of everything we talked about, again, just as a final recap before I actually do what I promised and hand over and start the actual visual understanding and seeing of the product in action, is the idea that as an enterprise laptop user, on the left-hand side, you had access and were accustomed to these different security and usability functionalities. They've been around forever. Your company's been using them, whether you knew it or didn't. It's here. Being able to use single sign-on, changing and resetting your Active Directory password, authenticating with certificates, accessing online files and editing them. These are all things that you are used to and probably don't even think about often. Now, with DEX devices and Hypergate, we're looking to bring these same features and functionality to you, and doing it in a very straightforward way that gives you this functionality without requiring major changes to your infrastructure. We just want you to configure, install an app, forget about it, and sit back and use your Samsung device. With that, Björn, I'm going to hand off to you, and we'll actually see Samsung DEX and Hypergate working together. Thank you very much, everybody. I will, of course, stay on, and hopefully if you have any questions at the end, look forward to answering.
All right. Thank you, Arman. Anyone already has a question after the presentation of Arman?
I have just a small one, if you allow me to. Herman said that the one big advantage is that he doesn't have to take the the big charger from his laptop, like wherever he goes. But what I'm wondering is, of course, it's easier to charge your phone because you just have the small USB cable, but at the same time, you cannot use the app while you're charging your phone, right? It has to be plugged into.
Well,
Definitely.
yeah, I think with the latest Samsung devices, DEX is also available wirelessly, and that's something that Björn will show as well. So on the S21, for example, DEX can be connected wirelessly, so you can, I think, in the meantime, still charge the device.
Yeah, and this is not at all related, but I have a little Samsung dongle here for when I do have to go wired. If the monitor supports USB-C, it'll actually charge it and do DEX as well. But this one here has quite a few ports on it, so I can charge and actually run DEX all at the same time. And it's like 20 bucks for consumer purchase.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
All right. So let's switch to Björn.
Great question, by the way.
Okay, so
thank you. A good presentation as well.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the, let's say, the live demo of the Hypergate DEX solution we are offering at Mobco. So let me first show you which setup we're using here. So we have a brand new S21 device, which will be connected wirelessly to also one of the latest monitors Samsung just released is a smart monitor. So you have the ability to connect them wirelessly through Wi-Fi to the device. We also hooked up a mouse and a wireless keyboard. So we can start now by just showing you how we do it, how we configured it, what software tools we're using. And to answer one of the previous questions, yes, we can use it wirelessly, and you can charge it at the same time. And even there's some dongles, like Arman answered you, that exist today. So let me first show you the S21. Hope you can see a little bit the screen. Maybe it's not always that clear on the let's say on the video, but we'll switch to a desktop view later on, so I can show you in detail how it works. So just within the Samsung device, you can go to the DEX menu. It will check for a wireless signal on the device, but I first need to switch on my monitor because it went into sleep. So just make sure that your monitor is connected. Start now. So now you will see on the monitor. So we did some customization, some branding, and now my S21 is connected wirelessly to the monitor. So we use the Mobile Iron system here. So we've a Mobile Iron core configuration. So the device is configured, and we added some customization as well. As you can see, the background, so the wallpaper of the screen has been customized. You can also customize the settings of the wallpaper. So the icon settings can be set as well. And we've used some customization with together, so combination of Mobile Iron together with Nox Configure. So let me switch to a device, which is to the device I can connect it now through the video, so you can see in real time the device. So you should be able to see the screen now. Okay, so now I have let's say the same desktop experience as we know from a Windows PC. So you can see here we have I've my desktop. I can go to all my applications. These devices are running in a dual mode. So I have my personal environment and I have my work environment, and I can yeah, if I want to put, for example, the CRM to the home screen, I can just by a right click, I can add it to the home screen, and then the CRM will also be on the home screen, and I can put it somewhere else. So the same experience as we know from a Windows PC. Now for the Hypergate solution, so as already told, it's composed of two applications. One is the Hypergate single sign-on application, so Hypergate, and the second one is the Files application to access your, let's say, your file shares on in an internal file share. So first of all, let me show you the Hypergate application. So yeah, I was already logged in, but let's say in the morning you're starting your work, you can just ask for a, let's say, authentication ticket. So you can see now here we received a Kerberos ticket. I'm logged in and my ticket will expire in 10 hours. It's just configuration work. One of the extra features, not only the SSO part of Hypergate, is also the change password or set password functionality. Because it's linked through a VPN tunnel with our internal infrastructure, I can change my password directly from the application in the Active Directory. This is one of the use cases a lot of people think about when they say when I work remotely, and that's one of the issues they have today when working remotely, not connected to the company's network. They're not, once the password expires, they're not able to change it from any device because they need to have an access, a direct connection to the corporate network. And that's something we can do now with the Hypergate solution as well. So I can change my password if I want to, but the first step here is I'm logged in, so I have a ticket, so I can now use my other applications or connected to the single sign-on from Hypergate. For example, I can go to Files. There I have my file shares, so the T-Rex and the home drive. So I have my home drive, and what's called T-Rex at Mobco is our internal file drive, like a G drive or an H drive in other companies. So with the different folders, I can scroll through them. But I want to show you the experience in the other way around. So in most of the, let's say, use cases, and for a standard Windows user, what they do is they go into the application, they open from a server a document, they want to edit it, and they save it back to the server. This is a, let's say, a normal use case, and for a generic user, it's pretty straightforward, and they want to have the same experience on a mobile device. If you know a little bit about architecture on a mobile device, it's not that easy because they're running all in containers, and it's not that easy to access a shared drive from a mobile device. But with the Hypergate solution, this will be possible. So let me show you, for example, in Word. So I can open Word, and as you will see, it's a full screen experience with all the functionalities of Word. So I can open recent documents, as you know. So I'm logged into my Office 365, but I want to open a document which is on our internal infrastructure at Mobco. So I can browse through the to the file share. So I want to open a document on my home drive. I have some work in progress I want to open. So I have a configuration from the Hypergate Mobco. So let me open that one. Oh, it's demo, so we're always having some some issues here. So I don't know what's going on, but let me try to open another document. Let's see what we have here. We have an older document. Yeah, so this one works. Let me just zoom a little bit out. Okay, this is an older document, but anyway, so I can edit the document. So let me select some text and change the color to red, for example, and objective 2022. Okay, so I can change it, and then the same functionality as we have, I can save it back. So an automatic save back to the shared drive, or I can show you around if you want to save it on a let's say on the file server. Let me just save it for now in the temp folder. I can save it. I can rename the document and save it. So the same experience as you have on a mobile device. Okay, so the other way around, for example, if you get you have your Outlook, so you have your emails. You want to open some attachments out of this email. I think I have some Excel files here. So an example, a demo file from a calendar. So I want to put in some holiday for next week. And I can use the shortcuts as well, as you know from you see my keyboard settings have not been changed, but I can use the Control Copy, Control Paste shortcuts, same as you know on your PC. And what I can do then is save it to, for example, my home drive. Okay. So yeah, that's you can with the DEX solution you can access all your applications, even on the personal side. If you have some application on the personal side, so you have the same desktop experience as you have from the from your normal PC. And if you leave the office, you can just exit the DEX, and then you get, if you disconnect the device, just disconnect the device, or if it's a wired connection, you can just take it home and then use it as a, let's say, the normal smartphone experience. So that's let's say a brief showcase on how you can use DEX as a together with Hypergate as a full Windows experience as your users know. So thank you for your attention, and I think back to Gert-Jan for the Q&A sessions.
All right. So thanks, Bjorn, for this demo. I don't know, after seeing the demo, does anyone has other questions for us or for Arman at this point? So apparently not. I think that must mean that all was very, very clear. Perhaps I have a question for the Samsung team. And I know that they are not prepared. I see Pascal looking up. Pascal, can you tell us on which Samsung DEX feature is available?
Yeah, sure. Basically on all our flagship devices, also including the Enterprise Edition smartphone, as well as tablets. So and yeah, as Arman and Bjorn were pointing out, it's plug play, and it works.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it was as of the Galaxy S8, I think, that it was
correct
started, and on the Note sessions.
Yeah,
Note
absolutely.
device.
That's what I call. Sorry, that's probably
Definitely.
internal lingo, but that's what I call flagship devices. Yes, correct.
All right. Thank you, Pascal. Does anyone have other questions at this point? I see, yeah, Klaas, you can.
I'm not sure who to ask this question. I think it will be maybe Björn, maybe Arman. But it's more of a practical question. Is it possible to disable the private working field and only activate the work field from the Samsung device when you're in a certain spot? So, for example, you connect your device to DEX, and you can only activate your work profile and not your personal profile, based on geofencing, for example. Is that possible?
Yep. So let me take that one maybe. It depends on the MDM configurations. There are some MDMs who support this kind of let's say geofencing policies. For example, Nox Manage, the Samsung one, they support these kind of specific policies based on events, and an event can be a geolocation or a time in the day, for example. That's so that it's possible to block these kind of functionalities. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Klaas, for that question. Other questions? I think, Arman, do you have anything else to add, perhaps?
No, I think for me that's quite a bit of talking. I think you guys did a great visual presentation. If there was anything, it'd just be that I'm happy you have to show our app, the Hypergate Authenticator app, the first one that was launched. But the traditional, just so you get an understanding of it, we launch it. The traditional use case is that the user actually never interacts with it. So if, for instance, I go to Chrome or the Samsung Enterprise browser, and I go to a corporate website, once I type in that URL, Hypergate will actually work in the background, and you won't see the application pop up. You will get a quick little scroll window that comes and says authentication is happening, and once that's completed, you will just be logged in. It's the same user experience as when you have to reset a password. On mobile devices, the user experience before was that your password would expire and you just would not get logged in. So the user would actually have no idea, why am I not getting access to something? They'd have to open a support ticket, or maybe they've been with the company for a while and they know, okay, this is what's happened. I need to go take the next possible steps. Hypergate, even in the case of a password reset or expiry, will just pop open again a little window on top of whatever screen you're on, an overlay essentially, and we'll just prompt the user to, and again, there's many ways you can do this, but let's say provide a fingerprint, type in the old password, whatever, and then be able to reset it. As Bjorn pointed out, with the different configurations of, let's say, how long the Kerberos ticket is in action or is in use for, in the example, it was 10 hours. Whatever is configured on the Active Directory, the length of ticket, the requirements for passwords, even if there's third-party tools that you use to further, let's say, enhance the requirements of what a password should or should not include, Hypergate will follow all of those procedures when resetting the password. So it's whatever is configured on your Active Directory with whatever additional add-ons you might have, we follow that same process. And the traditional user never really sees our app. It's just an overlays as they're accessing whatever other applications, just to further kind of merge together that traditional user experience to mobile.
All right. So yeah, if no one else has further questions at this point, I think we can conclude this session. So let me thank Arman and Bjorn for the presentation, and Pascal, of course, for the intervention by Samsung. Should you have questions on both solutions, just let us know. We are happy to help. And yeah, I would say for now, have a nice day, and talk to you soon. Let's hope. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.